Hello to all our followers. Greetings to all listeners to Rhythm Operator Radio Show, and of course our followers at Reggae.Si. Today we are lucky to host a producer who you all, I think you know him. So here is Krak In Dub. Hi, how are you?
Peace, man. All good. Nice to be on Reggae.Si. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for taking the time. Let's basically start with your beginnings. You were born in Buenos Aires, then moved to Brazil. You now live in France. You grew up in your father's conga workshop. Your mother was also a professional dancer, so it's safe to say your feelings for rhythm and music started at a very young age. How do you remember those times when you were young?
Well, I remember I was surrounded by vinyls, percussions, and books too. Many books, because my parents were both high degrees in university studies, so it was a mix between cultural and musical background that was very, very heavy from their part. So I've been lucky enough to grow up in places where music is so important, like, and so the music there is like just part of life. Percussion and African tradition is really strong there. So and my father decided he was an ethnologue and a medic and a doctor too. So on the side of that, he had that workshop where we built first thing he built was drum sets, actually wood drum sets, and then congas, but all made home. So he went to buy the wood, cut the wood, curve the wood, do the metal parts, and we went. Sometimes we went to collect donkey or cow's skin, to make the percussion skin. So it was the whole fucking process from A to Z to build the percussion. It was really fun.
And did your father teach you how to build one? Do you know how to build one yourself?
I helped him many times, but actually I never built one by myself. From the whole process is really heavy. It's not a simple thing. It's not a simple thing. You need to be really committed to that, and I don't have the time to do that. And I'm so busy from my other passions that I never did it. No.
So tell me, when did you fall in love with reggae and sound system culture? What is your first memory of it? Was it a song, an artist? Who was responsible that today we can talk to you as a producer and artist of this culture?
Well, actually, I've been a jazz fan for a long time first. Then I discovered hip hop and rap when I was like 13 in 1988 something, and I fell in love with hip hop. So my trajectory was that one. It's from jazz to hip hop to reggae, and so I discovered reggae because I went to different concerts in Paris. Let's say around 96. I remember clearly a Gladiators concert in l'Élysée Montmartre, which is a mythical venue in Paris, and some Alpha Blondie concerts too. I was lucky enough to be there, and Still Pulse, the live at l'Élysée Montmartre was a fabulous live. They did an album from that live. I was actually there too. So reggae came to me from those concerts, because the power of the bass line and thing took me away straight away.
Like you started way back in '96 as a DJ for Masai sound system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then soon you launched your own record labels. You started producing music and playing in parties, clubs, raves. You even had a TV show called Boom Boom Line. When and why did you decide to stop being a DJ and start live shows, live sets on stage?
Well, first, in '96, I met a couple of guys who were totally crazy, who brought me a new music. It was named jungle music. And so as it has that fat bass line plus those new drums and crazy snare cascades, and it was such a new music. So I found it was something that could be really interesting. And those two guys, they were the founders of Massima Sound System. So I joined the team, and we were like maybe 8 to 10 DJs, people doing decorations, people doing visuals, and we threw some big massive free parties at that time. And we also had club nights, that TV show Boom Boom Line that was on a pirate TV. Actually, it was a real pirate TV inside of Paris. Something really super funny to do. And yeah, we did like from '96 to 2003, and that was the time. Yeah, I felt I needed to change my art form, as I was stuck into DJing, and everyone was a DJ. You had too many DJs. So I was wondering what can I do to do something different. And live sets were something really common into free party world. Was a lot of people playing live sets, and they played different music because they were playing their own music every time. So I thought that was a good path for me. So I quit DJing from one day to the other and never touched
just like that.
The MK2 again. Never.
One of your projects, basically, you launched also DK Mastering. Do you still work there as a vinyl and mastering engineer?
Well, DK Mastering was called Reverse Mastering. It was held by Jan Dub. Jan Dub was a crazy guy from the hardcore and experimental techno scene. Someone who really was into technique and also into strange music, but still good music. And I was a customer at his first studio. It was Reverse Mastering. I was cutting my dub plates and some of my productions there for my first labels like Random Records and Massimas. And he decided to leave to Spain to open another cutting room. Reverse went to Barcelona. And with his younger brother, Harvey, we opened DK Mastering in 2004 and 2003 maybe. And we began cutting dub plates for the whole sound system scene in France. That made me a lot of contacts between the community there. It was really important in my career. Yeah. And many artists came to the studio for the dub plate sessions too. So I met a lot of people at that time. And we also had the sound system with Massima. So I was also doing some sound systems too with on reggae parties sometimes. And from that time, I kept on working with Harvey at DK Mastering. Yes. Lately, I choose to quit Paris. So I'm living in the West Coast now of France. And I have my own production and mastering room here at home. So what I do is do a lot of work like digital mastering for people like Iron Dubs, OBF Sound System, and many of those, reggae artists from that scene. And I send the masters to Harvey in Paris, and he does the cuts. We still have the Neumann cutter from 68 or something, and the cuts are done in Paris. The digital part is done here at home. So yes, in a way, I'm still working at DK, even though I just can't go there too often.
And it's like you said, it's safe to say that changed the working there changed your music life and career, right?
Straight away, mainly because of the context. Yeah, actually, I was working there all the time. I was young. I wasn't a father. I was in the. It's a third on the ground, so you can't see the light. There's no light there, but it's inside Paris, and we could be open 24/7. No neighbors, no problems. So one day I was there, and I had produced a bootleg with Echo Minot and Robert Lee on the bootleg. And the door rings. I open the door, and who I see? Echo Minot and Robert Lee. I say, what is happening here? I open the door, we do the doublet session, and after that, I tell the guys, come on, follow me. I took him to my own little studio in the back of DK, and they listened to the bootleg, and that bootleg finished on the Echo Minot anthology with all the big jammies, Jamaican producers that he met along his career. So that's one of the things that happened to me there at DK.
Tell me, you produce all types of music like jungle, hip hop. You do dub, reggae. I mean, basically you cover all the basic Jamaican genres. Tell me the story of the name Krak In Dub. How did you came up with it? What's the meaning behind the name?
Well, at that time, when we had the Massimal sound system, we were playing behind the walls of sound. People couldn't see the DJ. So we never chose serious names because we didn't knew what was coming in the future. We knew was the main career of music. So I remember it's just like a joke. They called me Krakook. They called me Krakook. And from that Krakook, I was DJ Krakook at the time, playing as a DJ. And when I changed to my live set, I said, well, let's make a change to the name too. And I just took the last part of the word out. I stayed with crack, which is some fundamental noise, like the Big Bang noise, or maybe let's call it some breaking noise. And in dub, because I use the dub technique to produce and to play, not because of the music, but much more because of the technique of it.
Basically, today you are known as one of the original pioneers of the French jungle movement. How far back did you start to have this title, and how do you look at it?
Well, actually, I am the second generation in France, not the first one. The first one, and let's say thanks to Willy Man. Willy Man is gone now for many years. He left us and died. So there was Willy Man, Soper, actually Sri, and many other, not many, but let's say 6 or 7 DJs that brought jungle in the early 90s. As it came in the UK, I mean, like Le Lutin was there too. And they're the real first generation, Junglist, Posse, and all those guys. So I consider myself more like a second generation into that. But what we did with Massimas was to bring the jungle to the free parties in France. The free parties in France were 99% techno, free techno, hard techno, Frenchcore, and so we took reggae, dub, and jungle to that scene. In that, I think we can say we were pioneering the thing, but we're not the first people to do jungle in France, for real.
Yeah. And how would you, as one of the second ones, first one, second ones, how would you describe the development of jungle and basically all sound system culture from when you started and now today? Would you say what would you say is the biggest development or difference between way back and now?
Well, there are some similarities. I consider, the time of the free party. First Technival we went to with the sound was in 97, and it was the traditional first made Technival in France. It was only the third or fourth one. So there were maybe 6 sound systems, 7 sound systems maximum there at that Technival. And 2 years later, we were 100 sound systems there. And in 2000 and something, there were 200 sound systems in the Technivals, and maybe 80,000 people totally gone mad and crazy, freestyle. So dub is living some analog thing now, something that's really close to that. Because I can see there are many people building boxes and building sound systems in France. It's crazy, but I can see it coming everywhere else in the world. Like Mexico is big, and there are many sound systems growing. The scene is growing up like so crazy. Jungle has known a different life. It never really blew up in France. Never. You can play a jungle tune in any party. It will put the dance on fire.
Yeah.
But it never blew up. I mean, it stayed confidential.
Basically, more underground.
It stayed underground, really.
You yourself, you make, like I said before, many types of music, mostly Jamaican inspired, of course. Your styles go from dub, jungle, ska, reggae, hip hop, breakbeat, and much more. How do you decide what style of music will you make on a certain day? You come to your studio and you say, okay, today I'm going to make what? How do you decide in that?
Well, actually, it's more like every day I can work on 4 or 5 different tracks, but not finishing them, just like passing through. Let's do a little bit on this and a little bit on that. And so maybe on the same day, I will work on some Latin, like the album I produced for Galletas Calientes last year, some Latin stuff, and then pass to a tune I want to build for Demolition Man in a reggae style, and then remix some tune in a jungle style. So it can be really, really wide on the same day.
So it just go little by little, and then
of course,
one song at a time.
And then the days I feel like writing music, then it depends on the mood.
I have to ask this question because we all know the coronavirus basically crippled the music industry. It crippled, canceled shows. We are 2 years now in the coronavirus situation. How did the virus and everything that's going on right now affect you as an artist and a producer? Did it affect your music making, and how, basically?
First, just one thing first. I guess it's the government's reaction and not the virus by itself.
Yeah, of course.
That made us all like go crazy. So that's a human reaction and not the virus itself. Even though it's because of the virus. So, I just moved from Paris to Nantes when it happened. So I had a new house, a studio to build, a garden. So at first, it didn't really matter to me. It was okay. I've been playing since '96. I cover 40 shows a year or more. So I wasn't like desperate to play. Well, it was okay for me. And I had tons of music to release and to finish. So I first did some order into my computer and then said, okay, let's do it. And I had that big rhythm called the race rhythm with Beanie Man, Capleton, Johnny Osborne, Ras Demo, Troy Berkeley. So I decided to finish that one. What I did, I finished it. Then I finished the album that came out later with Ras Demo, with Troy Berkeley.
Yep.
And I finished my album Catleya for Galletas Calientes. So over the 2 years, I released those three albums, plus some singles and different things. So I was more than busy with it, and I wasn't looking for gigs at all. So on the summer, I did like 7 or 8 gigs because there were like friendly gigs and near from home. But I wasn't really looking for that. Now,
2 years on.
Well, I've been mastering a lot of music for many customers, so I was really busy. But I'm feeling like getting back to stage and to playing sound systems, of course. So I was supposed to be out touring right now, and I'm home. So as you can see, it's affecting everyone.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as for me, as a music lover, of course, I miss live shows, and I bet for you as an artist, it's also. I mean, you can do music at home, but live shows are still one of the better things in a musician's career.
Of course, yeah, it's really important because you can try the new tracks, you can try your new productions, see how people react, have fun, you can dance, you can meet people. It's really important. So yeah, everyone is missing, and of course, it's a big source of income for us. I mean, selling records is now not bringing.
We all know how it goes. Yeah,
musicians the real income. So it's been hard, but still in France we're lucky enough to still have for the moment. They're trying to destroy everything socially, but we still have some good like security when you don't work.
Well, that's I'm glad to hear. Let's go and look at the year 2021. In May, you released Catleya, the Bogota Sessions album. Tell us a little bit more about this project and what's it all about.
Well, actually, in 2019, I went with my wife and daughter to take a trip to South America. So to take my family back to the roots and travel to places I didn't knew yet, or some places I already knew and needed to show them. So we went to Mexico, Cuba, and then to Argentina, Chile, and Žare, and we were traveling. And my wife told me, "Why don't you do some music while we're traveling?" So I had indeed a couple of gigs everywhere I went. I played in Mexico, a couple of gigs in Santiago too, and I had some gigs, but still it wasn't like doing music. So I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna call my partner Matias, whose name Galletas Calientes DJ Galletas Calientes, to be the name of the label. We founded that label back in 2003 there at DK Mastering. At first it was a breakbeat label, and I called him he's living in Bogota for a few years now. And I told him, I'm coming. I'm coming for a week. Let's book a studio and let's find some good musicians and let's do an album. So he began to propose me several musicians, as he knows the scene very well. He knows everyone there now. And so we picked our favorite young and promising people we could see there. Rented the studio. I came there with maybe 10 or 12 tracks I had written during my trip, and we recorded for a week. Like we had singers, flutes, percussions, traditional different instruments, and singers. Yeah, so I took all that music back to France and finished it during the pandemic.
And I must say the whole album really has that South American vibes. I listened to it, and it's for anyone who loves the South American culture, the music. The album is really, really nice. So basically, go check it out because you will not be disappointed. Now let's talk about the latest project with Troy Berkeley. Is it Berkeley or Barkley? Berkeley, yeah. Your latest project with him is called Sky High. It was released in December 2021. But you already did a project with him in 2017 called Upgrades. And first I want to know, tell us more about you two. How did you two meet, and how did you collaborate on the second album?
Well, I met Troy a long time ago. I met him. I remember it was a friend of Massimas who told me one day, I was still a DJ at that time, and she came and said, I need to present you an MC. He's so good. He's an MC. He's so good. And I was some kind of fed up with the French MCs, like trying to sing in English and Rare. So I was like, no, I don't know, not sure, please, no. And she brought him anyways. She didn't listen to me. And so Troy appeared. I saw that gentle, super nice person. And we played a set in 97. Was our first set together in La Flèche d'Or, which is a venue in the east of Paris. We had a regular night. And from that time, we toured together from that time. So it's been like 25 years now together on the roads. So what happened needed to happen. He's been on the Galletas Calientes 01. He's emceeing. He's emceeing on the Massimas 02.
Yeah.
On those vinyls. And then when we launched Fogata Sounds, which is my rubber dubstep label with my partner Hugo, he also took part of the Fogata Sounds adventure too, as an MC and as a singer too, as a recording artist. So we've been recording and touring together for those last 25 years.
And we are basically we music lovers are very lucky that you two met, because the new album Sky High is really, really good. It features 12 tracks. It's full of ska, jungle, steppers, also hip hop vibes. How would you describe the album, and maybe tell us, do you have a favorite song on it? Because I can say for myself, my favorite, of course, is Tell the Devil, because I love ska rhythms. I love Troy and his voice. Describe the album and tell us how do you feel about the project?
Well, those tracks were like between 4 and 5 years old already, almost 4 years old now, because we recorded everything before I went to that trip in South America in 2019. So it was recorded between early 2019, and Yeah, at that time I was like producing more of a hip hop vibe. I don't know why. I was so actually, but basically I wanted to have a. He's a big rapper. I mean, he raps as good as he sings or toasts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that with him. So we recorded all those tunes, finished them, and the result is like, yeah, it's like Catleya. Catleya is different from all the music I made before, and Sky High is different too. It's a different vibe. It's a different sound. Uh, of course, yeah. Maybe my favorite track is "Tell the Devil" too, because I love ska.
Yeah.
I enjoy ska so much. And that song is like a gospel song on the tune. And the result is, yeah, it's so strange. I played it everywhere for the last 4 years during the sessions, and it always hit the dance floor.
Yeah. It's a really nice track. It's not the only one on the album, but like I said, it is also my favorite. Maybe tell our listeners what else can they hear on the album. How would you describe the music on Sky High?
Well, it's some kind of a 90s hip hop, I guess. Basically, the sound and the feel. So I recorded many guitars with my guitarist friend who plays on many tunes. It's a long time. I met him. His name is Tease, and I met him with the Inca Link posse at the time I produced for Inca Link. I met him when we produced, I guess it was when we produced the Prophet Rides Again, a Capleton tune, a big tune from Inca Link that I remixed. And since that time, yeah, I've been working with him from time to time. And so he came and put some guitar on the album and changed a little bit the feel of it. So it's like a hip hop with some instruments and a groovy, happy overall vibe, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Tell me, maybe, do you remember your first song that you produced? Do you remember it actually?
The first one that went on a CD or something?
Just the first song that you put out in the world.
Yeah, the first one that been released. Yeah, I remember it. It was on a compilation. In France, we have something called Techno Parade, which is a big march for techno, and they had a meeting that was named Les Rendezvous Électroniques, and they had a compilation. And I was inside that compilation with a jungle tune.
Yeah.
A jungle tune, yeah. Actually, with a big sample, yeah, with a big with a big sample in it. The sample was Tales from the Crypt, from some Jamaican singer. I had the a cappella on the vinyl. I don't remember clearly, but it was a bootleg.
So tell me, how would you describe your from that song and until today? How would you describe your evolving in music? What is different about you now?
Well, first of all, the machines. At that time, it was sampler and Atari, and it was a complicated process to produce music. So now it's completely different on that side. But on the artistic side, it stayed almost the same. I mean, I'm always learning something, which is really cool, which is interesting. You don't get to a level that you can't pass over. You always are learning something. And I always took care not to repeat. I don't have a template. No, I don't have a template. Even though I begin with drums, my tunes, I begin building drums, first of all. Even though I have a process, I don't have a template, and I don't have a clear drum set. I don't have a clear sound for the bass. I always change my way of producing. That's why I never got bored. thanks to that, I guess, and thanks to the variety of music I have produced, not staying in one genre.
Yeah, and we are very lucky that you didn't get bored and you are still making music today. In your career, you worked with many known artists, just to mention, I mean, Neva Lazarus, Jamalski, also Studio One's Lone Ranger, and many, many more. You also did a remix with Capleton. How do you feel about working with such legends? I mean, Capleton is a legend in reggae. How do you feel when you're working with an artist like that, and how did that remix with Capleton even came up?
Well, the first one, because I did like 3 or 4 remixes for several different labels with Capleton tunes. The first one was The Prophet Rides Again from Inca Link Productions, and Inca Link was also a costume at DK. So he knew that I was doing some remixes. He loved jungle, and he had that tune on 7-inch, like on Inca Link 7-inch production, and the sound was okay, but he wanted to have it bigger, so he wanted to put it on a maxi, on a big 12 inches 45. And for the B side, he said, "Oh, Fede, what do you think? Would you make a remix?" I was like, "Of course." And I was so fucking happy. So I had those stems, really good stems. I did my remix quite fast. We finished producing it together with Mr. Ink and with Mr. Wax, which is the engineer that worked for many of my productions and Inca Link productions and School Vibe productions and many sound systems in Europe. And we released it, and it went boom in New Zealand, boom in Japan, boom everywhere there was a junglist, actually. Yeah. So that tune was really important in my career too. Yeah. And after that, I did several other remixes of Capleton for Soul Vibe Records, and finished producing a tune with him on the race with him last year. Finally, a real tune with him.
And it's a really good tune. I listened to that song. You also played on many sound systems. For instance, we all know Mango's Hi-Fi. You also performed all around the world. Maybe tell us, what was the biggest or best performance for you, or basically, do you have a favorite memory from touring?
Wow, that's hard, man. That's hard, because it's such a large and extensive variety of things. It's impossible to answer. I have great memories of some sets because of the crowd. Some of the times because of the situation, the place it took place, the venue. Some of the times because the country is crazy. It's so hard to tell you.
Yeah,
but of course, playing on Mango's is always a pleasure, because the sound is wicked and the lads are cool. And yes, playing a new sound system is always exciting too, even though it's sometimes really hard, because, well, it's a live set. It's not like playing a CDG or something. The sound sometimes it's hard for us to play on custom sound systems. It can be challenging, but it's interesting. That's the main part of it. Yeah.
Tell me, with so many releases from you, remixes, tunes, you have a wide repertoire of your music. But do you have your favorite tune? What is the best tune you made, or what is your creme de la creme? I can put it that way.
Well, I have a tune that made it worldwide too, and I made it in 10 minutes.
Wow.
It's a bootleg too. It's named Me Gusta Bugalú, and it's a jungle salsa tune. And it's just a loop, a couple of loops from a tune, a salsa tune, played by the Peruvian orchestra. I had a chat with them, and they said, you can release it. And I did it really, really fast, and it went worldwide. It's been playing and playing again all over, because I guess there's so few of those salsa jungle tunes that people are really into it. So that tune is not my best production, because it sounds like a fart. It comes from the sample is an MP3, and then the boom track is like I made it maybe in a plane. I don't remember. It was like 10 minutes thing, so it doesn't sound so good. But the vibe in it is powerful. Yeah, man. So that tune, of course, and the Capleton, the Prophet is always a big thing for me too. And of course, into the new albums, I have some favorites too. Into Carreya, I met those girls from La Perla, which are 3 girl singers and percussionists that are crazy, crazy talented. We're doing some new things. We're preparing some new EP for the next summer together. And the last album with Troy is looking forward for the new things. So my favorite tune is going to be the next one, I guess.
Perfect answer. Tell me, basically, you like we said, you worked with many great artists, great legends. If you could have any artist or group in the studio right now, who would you like to feature? Who is your the dream featuring?
Well, some of the dreams are like dead and buried from a long time. Of course, some great artists like Dennis Brown, and some legends from the early 19 and late 80s from Jamaica would be a choice. But of course, we can't do that. But for the living people, it's complicated too. I would really love to have Cocotti.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because he's the king of the hook. I mean, I love his song so much. I love Cocotti.
Tell me, basically, what in your career as a musician, as a producer, what is your biggest dream or biggest goal in music? What would you like to accomplish?
Well, I'd love to be playing at 80 and in good shape. I don't care being a headliner. I don't care having a fast grow. I like to endure and to last for long. Yeah, that's it. I would love to last for long, to keep it like it's been for the last years, and some festivals are worthy dreaming of, like going back to Boomtown. I've been there already, but I would like to get back there to Boomtown. I would like to make my way to maybe Outlook or some big festivals of that kind that didn't consider booking me until today. But maybe one day. So some places too that I'd like to go and play. I would like to go more to my country, to Argentina, where I've played only a couple of times, like really few times. So that, and keeping on releasing music here. And this year I'm gonna do my 70th vinyl production. So if I go to 100, it would be more than okay for me.
Well, let's make it 200 just to be safe.
I'm tired.
Tell me, if I borrowed your phone right now and look at your playlist, tell me what would I find there? What kinds of music do you listen to when you just sit back and relax and chill?
You will find a big deception because there's nothing on my phone. You know, I'm an old guy. So I don't listen music into my phone. I have my setup with the turntables there in my living room, and you can find some friendly productions like Dubamix new albums that are really, really good. You can find some Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, a couple of unknown vinyls that are there just for sampling purposes. And yeah, that's it. Mainly, I mean, nothing. I'm stuck in the studio for 8 to 12 hours a day. And when I go out of the studio, I just want, some classical, jazzy, musical things to listen to. Yeah.
Do you have your personal favorite album or a track? What album would you put on a turntable and could listen to it all day long?
Well, I probably go with my favorite things from John Coltrane.
Super.
I guess it's the ultimate music and the ultimate level of vibes and understanding and on human nature and on musical theory at the same time. It's so large and so powerful.
And do you have any songs? I mean, do you have any song that would even surprise your friends or your wife that you listen to? You know,
my wife, she knows me so good. It's hard to surprise her. I try my best, but I'm not sure I can surprise her anymore. And for the friends and people, no, I'm not a big surprise guy when it comes to music. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I kind of love house music and techno too. And maybe that's gonna be something for me in the future. I don't know. I'm into garage from a long time ago. I love garage. I love two-step, you know. So yeah, maybe some playlists of two-step and garage music that could offend some people that wouldn't understand that coming from me. But yeah, that's good music too.
Tell me if you could go back in time, or I mean, if you could go back in time and give yourself basically what would you tell yourself when you started producing? What advice would you give yourself?
Well, just do it. Just do it, boy. I mean, that's what I've done. I've just done it. I wasn't fearing about nobody's criticizing. I wasn't fearing about nothing. I wasn't looking forward to be in one style of music. I was just trying to do my thing inside of some genres, of course, but still wasn't copying. So yeah, the best advice I would give to any young producer is to go and do his thing and release the music. Please release the music. Don't keep it in the computer.
Don't keep it on the laptop.
No, because that's not okay. It's like a band. If you have a band, you can go and rehearsal every Wednesday and Sunday. And if you don't do gigs, if you don't do concerts and happenings and parties and play to people, well, it's not a band.
Yeah. You worked. I mean, you know artists. You work with many artists. Do you have any new upcoming artists from France or anywhere that you would recommend to us to check out?
Well, I would like to. I'm going to profit of the platform to ask, if you know any young artists, please send them to me. So singers, some young singers. I need some fresh blood. My team is so great. I love my team. I love working with Troy Berkeley. I love working with Ras Demo and all the guys I work with. But I would like to be introduced to some new and young talented people. For the moment, a few years ago, I thought I found someone, a girl named LMK, and she's doing quite good now, but more in a dancehall and in a different vibe. So we don't work together no more. But she's wicked. Actually, she's wicked. She's a really good singer. So yeah, keep an eye on LMK.
Cool. I will make sure that we go check her out. And basically tell me, so what's next for you? What are you working on now, and what we can expect from you in the future?
Well, today in the studio, between the 5 different projects I was on, I was producing some rhythms for our upcoming album with Ras Demo. That's just beginning to. The process is just beginning now. So I'm writing some rhythms and some instrumentals for him.
Cool. Can we hear each other? Hey.
You're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
All right. Well, anyway, let me just get my. All right. Well, basically, I just wanna thank you right now for taking the time and talking to us.
It's my pleasure, man. Thank you.
Just keep on making good music. We love it. And I really hope that you will visit Slovenia someday, maybe on our Overjam festival.
Yeah, I'd love to. I came to Overjam like 5 years ago. The location is so beautiful. The vibe was really great. And I remember coming to Ljubljana to Channel Zero, maybe.
Channel Zero.
Some years ago. And it's really friendly place, and I love the vibes overall. So yeah, let's hope someday I will be back in Slovenia.
Yes, sadly our mayor is slowly taking away that special places from us, like Channel Zero. It was in the Metelkova Mesto, and we kind of struggle right now to keep that place going. But yeah, I really hope. Maybe Overjam anywhere in Slovenia. I would love to see you. I haven't seen you live before, and I really hope that we can meet in person one day. So once again, thank you for your time. Do you maybe have a message to our followers? What would you say to the massive?
Well, massives. Keep the underground alive, no matter if it's dub, techno, jungle, hardcore, rock, any kind of music, art, painting, anything. Just keep the underground alive. Keep the underground venues alive. Like you said, Channel Zero and those places are really important to the cultural life of a country. So we need underground places. We need people to go and support the promoters and support the artists locally. So yeah, basically my message is like to keep culture alive. And so yeah, musicians do music, promoters promote parties, painters paint, and everyone gather to make some better life for the world.
And I can say to our followers and listeners. If you haven't checked it out, Krak In Dub, go check him right now. Check his work, because it's mad. It's mad. Once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time. I hope in the future we can speak again.
We will, surely. That's 100% sure. I'm going to be back to, at least when I'm passing through Pula. Sure, I'll be able to be back to Slovenia. That's for sure.
Yeah. And we will be glad to host you if you come here.
Yeah, man. So Reggae.Si, boom.